let's take a look at how to inspect a URL to see if Google has indexed it yet. So we have a blog article, and I've copied the link, and I'm going into Google Search Console, that's search.google.com, and then I have to pick the property. In this case, it's the website for corvo.com. And I want a specific URL, so I'm going to plug that in. So far, this URL is not currently indexed, so we're going to request indexing. And this site often gets searched pretty quickly. It's a new article, but it had been a few weeks or months since regular articles were getting published on the site. And so Google basically saw the slowdown, and then they stopped showing up when new things were published. They were probably doing a lot of indexing through the deeper links of the older articles still as people continued to visit. So we're going to request this be inspected. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to also log in real quick. Oops, auto-filled the wrong thing there. Index requested, so that's been pushed through. And Google will index this at its own speed and time and things of that nature. There are things that used to be able to help and might still help today, like if you tweet this out, sometimes if you've got a Twitter account that gets a lot of attention, that can help Google pick up on indexing things a little bit faster. They'll go crawl it. It doesn't give you any search engine benefit to do that other than bringing it to Google's attention a little bit faster. So while we're in here, I'm also going to take a look at our sitemap settings. Done some changes here recently, and I want to make sure that Google has the current settings for our sitemap. So audit, account information. Oh, there it is, SEO configurations. I was looking for something that said the word settings. So tweak a sitemap. Here's our sitemap. We were using a different tool to power the sitemaps before. So while we're in here, I'm going to make an update in Search Console to ensure that we have the correct link still. And we can see there have been a couple things that couldn't fetch lately, so that's partly because it changed from sitemap index.xml to sitemap.xml. So we're going to update Google there. We'll hit submit, and sometimes a sitemap, think of it as a list of all of your articles, will have other sub-listings in it, and we have these here. So this sitemap goes to additional deeper levels of sitemap. So you can think of this as something like an outline, and these are your main heading, topic headings in the outline, and clicking those takes you to the next level in. And for Google purposes, we're going to take a look at resubmitting a few of these, cleaning up some things in here. Used to be able to delete the old ones. Let's see. Sitemap can't read, so we're just going to resubmit each one of those. And post.1, there's a post-2 and a page-2. Got it. And as I refresh each of these, we can see that some of those are coming in with a success. Our initial did not, so I may need to attempt that one again, but I'm going to work my way through the list because Google will go through and they'll send a bot to visit the site through each of the links that are in that sitemap as they see it appropriate or helpful. And eventually, oh look, now the original one that I submitted now is coming back with a success. So it pings around through all the links, tracing and following them to wherever it is that they might go. And since it's a computer system, and these days it might even be an AI, but an algorithm in the old days, this would be something where it may not necessarily follow the same logic that a person would. It's following the logic of whatever the code was put in to make all this happen. And grab a couple others in here. I'm going to get all of these in there because we're using a fresh system and we do want that fresh look and understanding from Google. And in this particular case, we're using an SEO system called Squirrely. Been around for quite some time. It can be very helpful in terms of how it guides users through the SEO process on individual articles to get a deep SEO look, even when you're not an SEO expert. In some regards, I use a couple different SEO tools depending on the site, depending on the person that owns the site, what works for them or the type of content that they have. And Squirrely is a great one for what I would consider a person that has a website, maybe a blogger or a podcaster that's a super user, generates lots of content, and in doing so likes to get to know lots of different tools, try different things out, and use them to heavy advantage. Okay, so we've got those submitted. The categories are important, the product categories are important. Tags for this particular site can be important due to the way that we've structured some of the tags. I don't always include a tag taxonomy for a site. Now, I'd like to come back to our original blog article because Google's gone through and looked at our sitemaps. And I want to come back and see where we might stand with this, because maybe Google's already had a chance to get through and index it. URL's not yet. It's crawled, but not yet indexed. So a little bit of update. So one of the things that we can see here is this particular article hasn't been linked to by other articles that have been indexed. Another thing that can help. And so I'm going to push this along just a little bit. So at a high level, this particular item is falling into our software and techniques section. So it's talking about photo editing. And we've kind of got the intro and then the deeper topic below. So I want to see if we have any other older articles that have covered this topic before. We've got a lot of on-camera tips for video. I'm not sure how much photo editing we've got, so I'm going to check. We've got one from 2016. And let's take a look at that. So a couple things. I'm going to come in here. I'm double tapping in this case. Could be a right click if you've got a mouse. I'm going to copy the link address to our article. And then I'm going to go to our 2016 article on web resources. And connect this in a little bit more. And I'm noticing too that there's an embed in here that's going to a broken link at the moment. So I'm going to clean that up as I fix this. And down here I can see in our copy we had a free online tool for photo editing that was mentioned back then. I'm going to come in and put a link to our article on those words to edit this post. So we're cleaning up some broken links, and we're going to, because we don't want to send people somewhere that doesn't work. And actually, I could have done a little better job to test some of those other links. There could be other broken links in here, outgoing links to sites that maybe have changed the way their links work, have gone out of business, whatever the case might be. So, like I suspect Lance Blair still got a functional working website, great. But whatever this was, there was some sort of embed from his site that's no longer working. And let's check and see if there was a script timer thing on his site, which there's actually possibly up here in the www there is an L. Maybe that's a typo that got put in here. Could be an old domain or something like that, but I'm going to try and take out the LWWW, see if this link works. It could just be that our article never had the correct link in there. I don't know, or could have been a special domain set up just for this specific tool that was on Lance's website. It's kind of loading slow if it is there. Anyway, coming back into the editing while that's going on, because we do have our own thing to do. Oops, and I can't remember if I've kept the link in my photo editing. So we're going to come down here. We're going to select our links. We're going to insert or edit a link. Hopefully, if it's still in my thing, it is great. We'll update that. Terrific. And okay, so here's that correct link now, updated for 2022. So our 2016 article's getting some corrections and updates in here. This, whatever it is just a dead space, and this needs to be edited with the new and correct link for 2022, which will help us and it'll help Lance too. Lance doesn't want people coming in to see a broken link as their first impression, probably. Let's check on a couple of these other links that are in here. tvtechnology.com. That still does work. Still a good link. What about this deeper link to the audio world without ISDNs? That's a 404 these days. So maybe they've changed the way they organize their articles. Maybe they've just gotten rid of it. Looks like it's still published. So I'm just gonna, and they previously used to have a number at the end of their link. I can see it here. So I'm gonna come in, grab the correct link, and edit that in. And this hyperlink is published with a naked link, so there's a naked link is a hyperlink that you can see what you're clicking on. So I'm going to clean that up too. So our first 4 links do work. Google doesn't like to be sent to dead ends any more than anyone else, and since they're trying to figure out how to make everyone else happy, we don't necessarily want to send them. We want to keep our trust with Google, and so that they trust our website. And for some reason, this does not. Oh, that's a download. So, and it is downloading. I can see I just brought in 2 documents and didn't realize it. So we got to download there. And Entrepreneur Magazine link here. Still works. Great. Something from PhotoJet. Still works. Something from Design Wizard. Still works. Okay, so and looking through our tags, we've now added this link for photo editing to this article, and I'm going to add the tag in here. This had an AIO SEO score way back when, which is great. I'm going to hit update on this. Go through. Refresh this article. Okay, terrific. And click through to our new article, which works. Terrific. And I'm doing a whole bunch of different things all at once here. So I'm going to come in and check our tags here. So let's get, oops, bounce in. Add that. Okay, see it, great. And get the update going. And circling back one more time, we're going to edit the 5 sites article from 2016. We're going to resubmit that too. And I'm going to, because we want Google to know, hey, we've redone this. So we want to request reindexing because we've improved this. We don't want Google to think that we're sending people to an old broken link anymore. Helps us, was it Jay or Lance? It helps Lance, and it helps everybody that visits all these different pages or sites too in the years to come. Okay. That might take a minute or two. Oops. Okay, I was going to do them at the same time, but we'll come back and check on this one again. So it's not indexed yet, but later, after Google reindexes our old article, which it did have in its listing, we might see this change from our referring page to show that Google traced it from our old page to this new article and so on. There could be other ways to do that as well. This is just one of many. So it's in progress. And we'll follow up later and see.